That's a good angle. Okay, I'll start. Okay. Good morning, Emma.
Hello.
Good morning, Rufus. Today we're discussing the new policies and procedures. We've been implementing new policies because the business has been failing since we last decided on new policies and procedures, so we're updating them.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the business isn't functioning as smoothly as we thought it would, and we need to recruit new staff. So we've been developing new policies and procedures to support induction and training of new staff. So I have a few questions for you. Number one, what issues do you see in implementing the new policies and any issues that might come up when trying to make the changes? Do you see any implications?
I think with the new staff, I don't think there'll be too many problems because the new staff are learning policies and procedures anyway.
Yeah.
I think it will more be with the existing staff being consistent in staying with the new policies and procedures and potentially confusing the new staff by doing things the wrong way.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can really think of, but the new staff will be trained in the new policies and procedures from the get-go, so they should be fine, but the old staff with some things might struggle.
So do you think
to
they
start
need
with.
updated training?
I think if we train, if we are able to, if we can train all the staff together, so new staff and old staff, then everyone's got the same training, so everyone knows where they stand, like where we stand on policies and procedures for different aspects of the business.
Yeah.
The downside of that training could potentially be if it happens during work hours, it's going to be disruptive. Or we could do it outside of work hours, either before start of day or preferably before start of day rather than the end of day when everyone's tired.
Mm-hmm. So with that external training or the possibility of it, have you talked to any other companies about the possibility of them training their staff?
Not yet. With the change in policies and procedures, that should be more internal. If there's any external training that in the training of the internal side of things, if there's any gaps in training that's found during that internal training, I think we should then approach the right sort of external group to have some external training done, or have a trainer come in ideally so it's less disruptive.
Oh, that's good. Do you see any risks if we don't implement the new strategies?
Well, if we don't implement the new strategies and the current strategies are causing a business loss or causing a lack of efficiency, that's in turn causing a business loss, then we'll still keep making a loss. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different outcome. So we need to change those strategies and get a hopefully better outcome.
Yeah, definitely. We're trying to.
But keep a bit fluid, so if any of the new things make the old things worse, then we can just take a step back to the old way that's less worse.
Definitely, we need to find a way to make those profits and
Yes.
the running of the business increase so that business can.
There is two main elements which can create difficulty. One is the cost and the time, and both you have to take in consideration before you take that kind of policy.
And do you see any risks if we don't implement new strategies?
Basically, in a country like Australia, in which the labor is not available when you want it.
What time frames do you envision for implementation and training? Would you say 2 to 4 weeks or 4 to 6 weeks?
I would probably say more the 2-week time frame. So a week of probably a week of training in the new policies and procedures, not necessarily constant training, but just have a training session maybe each morning, just to reinforce new policies and procedures. Just keep track of anything that's not working during that week, and then in the second week just reinforce those new policies and procedures and make sure that there aren't any training gaps in knowledge or gaps in training that need to be addressed.
So if that's done in the morning, will the staff have to come in a little bit extra early?
Yes.
And that's aside from induction, isn't it?
Yes.
What sort of cost do you think would be expected? $10,000 or $5,000 budget for training?
We've looked at it. I would honestly expect probably no more than over a 2-week period. Ideally, no more than $5,000. But again, it does depend on where those gaps in training are. If we need to pay for barista courses or something like that, that will add up quite quickly. If we're able to get away with in-house training, then it'll just be paying the staff the overtime or the additional hours. So that should be able to be kept to a minimal, hopefully. Not chew into the profits even more.
That's good. The minimum is good.
Minimum is good.
That's what everyone wants. Great. So it looks like we've updated the policies and procedure with some success, and definitely the new strategy over the training programs is definitely going to be a big improvement to help the business run once it's been implemented. So it's good. So we've covered just about everything that we need for today. Is there any other questions or comments that you have for me right now?
No, we'll just have to appoint, obviously have to appoint an internal trainer
Yes.
from the staff who's familiar with the new policies and procedures, and just be able to keep an eye on that training as well as the ongoing running. Make sure that the new policies and procedures stick and are easy for everyone to follow.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You need everyone understanding.
Yeah.
And it's good that you mentioned the education for the staff, which we already have, so that they can update their skills, because you never know, maybe they have some limitations, and those limitations are sort of causing the business to struggle.
Yeah.
So that was a really good idea. And of course, the training for the new staff, the idea of barista training was really great too, because obviously there are various skill levels which the staff will have, and with the possibility of barista training, they'll be able to gather more skills.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a good plan. So we'll meet again in a month's time, 4 weeks' time, so that we can update ourselves on the business and how it's been running, if it's been running at a profit, if there's been any improvement. Okay, that's all for today. Any further questions?
Yeah, I think that I would ask it right there that have the right staff to any business is the only key for success. You don't have the right staff to be in trouble.
That's true. Great. Thank you very much, Emma.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rufus.